Hi everyone. How you doing? Okay, let's start with a little quiz or a little interaction. Put your hand up if you use AI to write anything this week, anything at all. Could be your. Come on, come on. It's an amnesty period. Okay, your teachers won't know if you did it for homework. They're not allowed. Okay, honesty system. You got your hands up. All right. Could be even a message, email. Doesn't matter. You don't do emails. You do homework and stuff. Okay, now put your hands keep your hands up if you felt completely fine about it. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Some people are covering their faces. Why? You see that feeling? That strange feeling that you've got? All right. That's not guilt. That's not fear. You know what that is? That's your intuition telling you that something fundamental just changed. Because here's what nobody wants to tell you about AI. AI can do your homework for you. It can write essays. It can code. It can make art, music, marketing copy. Hey, it'll probably do your future job better than you. Seriously. So, what are you supposed to do when AI can do everything? Mm. If you feel like, oh, this is an uneasy time, like the rules just changed mid game and like the rug got pulled underneath you, well, you're right. Something did. And I want to show you what it is and how. Before I do that, take a look at these two. Which one of these moves you? The left or the right? It doesn't matter because you probably can't tell which one is AI and which one was human made, right? But what if I told you that one of these photos or pictures was drawn by a man who spent decades of his life learning the craft, suffering, going through school for it, spending his lunch money on supplies. Maybe he even fell out with his family over it. Which one now has value? Which one? It's the human one, right? But why? Why does it have value? The output never changed, exactly the same. But you did, right? The output is identical, but the meaning is not. Because what you're responding to here isn't the image, it's the cost behind it. You see, evidence leaves experience, should I say, leaves evidence. And what are we actually detecting? What evidence are we detecting here? Okay? Three things. And none of these three things can be faked. First is irreversibility. Real experiences physically change your brain. You can't unlive them any more than you can unbreak a bone, right? I mean, the fracture will heal, but it leaves trace evidence. AI has no before and it has no after. Every time it runs, it's fresh, it's brand new. It's got no scar tissue. The next is risk. Risk is real knowledge comes from sharing consequences. This is why we don't feel so bad sharing a plane with the pilot, because we know the pilot has equal skin in the game. They share our risk. If the plane goes down, he goes down or she goes down, right? And that is why you trust him or her, because he or she shares your risk. AI, AI has zero. And AI can never, that's why it can never develop judgment. Okay, and the third is scarcity. Your time here is finite. Every hour that you spend costs you something irreplaceable, and it takes it from something else. Whereas AI's time is infinite, and it costs nothing, and it's infinitely divisible. It can respond to multi-million requests at the same time at no cost. Every real experience that you have as human beings burns irreplaceable time and leaves behind some scar tissue. And that's what I like to call biological proof of work. AI doesn't have a before and after, it just resets. Just like a video game, like a life on a video game, boom, just give you a new one. You in real life, you don't. I'll give you a perfect example. Okay, this one's kind of crazy. This one is so crazy, this is new. I'm going to ad lib this completely because It's so fresh that I'm still trending on social media as I deliver this talk. Don't check your phones now, okay? Wait till later. Now, some of you may already know this story, but just very recently, my son, 19 years old, just got his license, driving for like 2 months, made a mistake on the road. Now, it happens, right? Violations happen. And he made a mistake and he called me up and he was panicking. Dad, they took my license. What am I going to do? I said, what are you going to do? You're going to go down and you're going to fix it, son. And I'm going to go with you. I'm going to show you that what you have to do is take responsibility for your actions because we only improve as a society when we all follow the rules. So I'm dragging him down to the licensing center. And I brought him there and I said, this is why you should learn that following the rules is going to work for you. And you know what happened? We ended up in some kind of regulatory quicksand, some kind of bureaucratic quicksand. Like it started, I won't get into too many details, but the poor kid was trying to pay the fine, but they just kept throwing one more thing after another that he had to do that wasn't necessary. We were getting both very frustrated, trying to find paperwork that wasn't required. And then in the end, when he finally went to pay the bill, and we had gone back a few times to the licensing center, but it was closed because it was around Christmas time. When we finally paid the fine and he went to get his license, you know what they said? Ay, over the 15 days, sir. Whoa, what do you mean? What do you mean over the 15 days? But surely you mean working days, right? I know. The Christmas is counted. The weekends are counted. The national holidays are counted. I said that like 8 or 9 days out of the 15 were holidays. How am I responsible for that? Sorry. And you know what the penalty is? 1 month suspension of your license. Imagine that. I brought this kid to school. I trained him like from the best school in the country to learn how to drive. I made sure he went through everything properly. And now I have to deal with this. I have to face my son. I have to tell him, you know, this is, I'm sorry. It just created a path of least resistance toward the fixer. I was devastated. I was really, really shocked. So I did what any father would do. I called it out on social media. January 5, see? I posted that on January 5. By the end of the day, that had 10 million views. 10 million. Within 24 hours, I was the subject of a national media frenzy. All over the news. I had to watch. Wow, sorry, I'm getting a little emotional here because I had to see this in real time play out. Do you know what it feels like to see your son's mistake, national television, broadcast for the whole country to feast on? Haters and all. We had media against us. We had government departments against us. It was a terrible experience. It was really, really scary. But you know what happened? Just as I was about to give up, I got a call from the Department of Transportation secretary himself. And he said to me, you know what? I'm sorry. This is not the way it's supposed to be. And just because this happened, you know what I'm going to do? Starting immediately, as in yesterday, they are no longer allowed to confiscate your license for a traffic violation. And you know what else? It's going to be working days from now on, not calendar days. And you know what? Just as I walked in here, they did one more thing. They said, you don't have to carry your driver's license in a physical copy. You can show your phone now. Woo! That felt good. That was redemption right there. But boy, did we go through hell. I'm just saying. But here's what's funny. You want to know what's really funny? After the whole ordeal, which I'm just compressing for this talk, you know what I did? I went to AI and I said, AI, can you summarize this for me? And you know what it did? It said this. Public backlash prompted policy concession amid social media pressure. All my struggle, all my son's struggle was reduced to that. That's it. Sakit, no? Because technically they're right. That's factual. That's correct. Am I right? But did it capture the story? Did it actually capture it? It's missing something. What it couldn't capture was a father watching his son in the middle of the night, wondering if he's going to be okay. Wondering if I did this to him. But we had something to fight for. Me and him, together. It was bigger than us already. We were fighting for the millions of people out there that have gone through the same kind of maze, the same kind of torture. And we put that skin in the game. AI gave me the facts right there, but it could not give me the experience. And that gap that I'm talking about, from the facts to my experience, well, that's your whole future right there. Because here's the thing, I'm a writer, I'm a content creator. I should be terrified right now. I'm literally on the front lines of being disrupted. I'm being disrupted right now as I speak. AI is eating my lunch, it's taking my job, it's taking my future. So how am I not obsolete? Well, here's what the last week of pain and suffering taught me. People didn't follow my writing. They followed me. When I posted about that, it hit like hundreds of millions of views because people weren't connected to the words. They didn't care about the argument per se. They weren't perfect. They were far from it. It wasn't that. It spread because people detected something that AI fundamentally cannot fake. That I was there in the arena. I had everything to lose. The fear was real. The stakes were real. Now, if somebody else, anyone else had written the same thing, exactly the same thing, and posted it, nothing would have happened. Why? Because they weren't there. Zero impact. You see, the writing was never the thing. The living was the thing. And that is how I bulletproof myself against AI. Not by writing better, because I can no longer compete there. You can do it much faster than me. Not because for anything else, it's by living in a way that generates experience that AI cannot simulate. Not because it's hard to fake, but because there's nothing to fake. The fear was real, the cost was real, and AI can only offer you a hypothetical. AI has no reputation to lose. They have no finite time burning away. They have no fear of failure. There's literally nothing on the line with AI. And that's why in a world where AI could generate infinite content, authentic human experience with real stakes just became infinitely valuable. Because your empathy is constantly asking, was someone actually there? Did it cost them anything? Is there scar tissue? You're looking for that, not the output, but the cost. So what does this mean for all of you here? About to graduate, you go to a great school. Well, I'm here to tell you that the game just changed in your favor. All your life you've been told your value is what you know, what you produce. But now that AI can do that better, faster, and cheaper, here's the twist. AI just made the one thing that you have infinitely more valuable, the human experience. AI eliminates all the advantages of technical work like the writing, the structuring the arguments, and editing. You can do all that. Everyone can do that now. But AI, listen to this, amplifies the advantage of lived experience. Right? In a world where everyone can write well, you know what the only thing that's going to matter? If you have something to write about. Your essay's value isn't in the words, it's in the struggle. The struggle of you putting that together. That's the value. AI doesn't have that. Your character isn't what you say, it's what you did when it was hard. Even the technical work, your time spent here in school, the time you spend in traffic trying to get here. Sakit, no? That's your biological proof of work right there. AI didn't put in those hours and days and years, you did. And that transformation that I'm talking about, the years that you've spent here, AI can never do that because AI has no from. It has no journey. It just materializes answers from thin air. And that is your competitive advantage. Here's what changed for me, and I think it's what changed for you. First, stop outsourcing your transformation. Sure, you can use AI to check your grammar and all that, that's fine. But you know what? The struggle that you go through, that's yours. All those ideas you wrestle with when you're writing something, that's yours. the version that AI does, that's nothing. Second, see consequences. Take the scary internship. Do things that make you scared. Take a public position where you might be wrong. Don't worry about it, because that's where you learn a lot about yourself. AI has infinite knowledge but zero wisdom from being wrong. And then third, show your work, especially all of the glitches, the mistakes, the parts that didn't work, because that is there, the proof that someone was there, that you were there, struggling, learning, transforming. Perfect is suspicious. Messy is authentic. And it scales. A teenager choosing to admit a mistake publicly carries the same weight as a journalist dad taking on the broken systems. The size of your arena doesn't matter. It's the stakes that are up for grabs. So fight for things that matter, not performatively, because that's where you learn who you are. You can't learn this from a podcast. You can't learn this from anything else. And when tens of millions of people were watching our struggle, I learned something I couldn't have learned anywhere else. Because I just realized that the knowledge exists only in the scar tissue of actually having done it. In a world where everything can be fake, your scar tissue becomes the most valuable thing you own. It's proof that you were actually here. Look, forget all the other advice. I gotta wrap this up already. I just want to say one thing, that AI didn't make you obsolete. It made you precious. It revealed what was always true, that value was never in what you could produce, and it has always been in what it cost you to become who you are. Your generation is the first to grow up in an age of infinite simulation. Everything can be fake, copied, and automated, which means the one thing that can't, the real human experience with consequences, that became infinitely valuable. So, when AI can do everything, here's what you can do. Just live so courageously, so authentically, that your life itself becomes the proof. Put yourself in the arena with something to lose, and fail if you have to. Because people don't respond to your perfect arguments, they respond to your skin in the game. Be that person in your own arena with your own stakes. Because in the age of infinite simulation, the only thing that's going to be worth anything is proof that you actually lived.